Then reporter Lomax asked both Adam Powell and Hewlin Jack about Mr. Lawson's statements.
Mr. Lawson told us that on several occasions he has supported you in your campaigns.
Sure.
And on one occasion he said he received a letter from you in which you gave him your blessings. I think he was on his way.
He was on the way to the All-African People's Congress in Accra, Ghana, which was held last December 12th.
Should one take this to mean that you approve of him and what he's doing, what he's saying?
No, I don't approve of any form of extremism, but I can say that I believe in the right of all people to follow whatever document or whatever doctrine they believe in, and the right for me to oppose or to support.
The Amsterdam News quotes you from a speech delivered at a rally sponsored in Harlem by the United African Nationalist Movement. The rally was commemorating African Freedom Day, I believe. And you were quoted as having said that henceforth we are no longer Negroes, but rather Americans of African descent. Is this an accurate quotation?
Yes, Mr. Lomax.
Do you really feel this way, sir?
I do feel that way.
Do you proudly associate yourself with African nationalist movements?
No, but borough president of Manhattan, I have been asked by that group to issue a proclamation, and I was happy to do it because of the fact that it indicated a certain date which was designated not by me, but publicly designated as the day known as African Day.
So you have issued, I believe, in the past 2 years, 2 or more proclamations for the United African Nationalist Movement. One on Garvey Day, I believe, and then later one for African Freedom Day. Is this true, sir?
Yes, well, all of us are certainly in knowledge of the contribution made by Marcus Garvey.
Yes. Now, let me see if I understand you correctly. Are you saying, sir, that you are not a member of the United African Nationalist Movement, but that you do consider these people a substantial, respected group in the community, and that you acceded to their request to issue proclamations? Is this what you're saying?
That's quite right, Mr. Lomax.
What do Congressman Powell and Borough President Jack know about the Muslims? Reporter Lomax asked both men to comment on the Muslims and their teachings. The exchange begins as Hewlin Jack admits that he welcomed Elijah Muhammad to New York, and then that he, Jack, spoke at a Muslim rally.
Yes, I greeted him as borough president of Manhattan.
Should this be taken to mean that you agreed with his religious, political, economic philosophy?
I know nothing about Mohammedanism. I have never sought to know anything about it.
You spoke at one of his meetings, didn't you?
I spoke as president of the borough of Manhattan and expressed the greetings of the borough of Manhattan to this man who had come here for the meeting of these people.
At the meetings, what did you say? Did you support the Muslim movement? Did you support them in their notions that the white man is a snake and a devil and should be destroyed?
I have no reason in the world to support that idea, because this world has on it white men, black men, yellow men, brown men, and all must live together in peace and harmony, and that has been my background ever since I've known my existence.
If I understand you properly, you have said to me that you issue these plaques, that you attend these meetings because as borough president of Manhattan you have to recognize the existence of these groups. Is that correct?
Yes.
Now, sir, with no harm meant, but if the White Citizens Council had a meeting, would you give them a plaque? Would you attend their meeting and speak?
Well, the White Citizens Council is not in existence in Manhattan, and certainly should have no reason for existence.
Congressman, I want to return again to the Muslims of whom we spoke earlier. You say you know Minister Malcolm X,
Yes.
and you respect him as a very brilliant man.
I think he's a very brilliant man.
They teach, and he said it to this reporter, among other things, that the proper interpretation of the incident in the Garden of Eden is that Adam and Eve were black men, and that the serpent was a white man who came in and, to say the least, brought on disquietude, and that the white...
You know what? Look, let me break this down to you like this. There's no Adam and no Eve that's going to have anything to do with us melanated people because of the simple fact that the names Adam and Eve, these is European names. The Europeans came after us melanated people had been on the earth for millions of years. The pyramids are older than Christianity. So how can they try to come on earth with their Adam and Eve story, and all of us as melanated people even waste time on that? That shit right there is something that you should put right up on your bookshelf with Dr. Seuss, Horton Hears a Who. Okay, you can have the Cat in the Hat right next to that damn thing, alright? You can have one of those old ass Curious George books up on that joint right next to that, right? And then you can have The Snowy Day. I remember I read that book when I was like 3. And then they had this book called Are You My Mother? And it was about this little bird that got lost, and he asked all the machinery and everything if they were his mother, and of course it was not. But anyway, there's other books too that you could put up there with it, like something that's in a language that you can't understand. That'll be a good book to put up there, because you could just about be just as enlightened from a book that you can't read as you could get enlightened from the Bible that gives you a bunch of foolishness that doesn't make sense, like men having babies. Now it's time for the people on this planet to grow up and stop with the bullshit, because as you can see, the concentration camps ain't no joke. They ain't gonna care whether you smart, dumb, stupid, wise, black, Puerto Rican, white, yellow, male, female. Only thing they gonna do is what they was designed to do, and that is kill people. And why? Because people is stupid. So damn stupid. You see, the people that gave you the Bible is the same people that's going to kill your ass. Now, if that Bible didn't help them from becoming the fucked up people that they are, how do you expect it to help your ass?
And is not a devil, but the devil, a snake of the grafter type, and must be destroyed. How does this sound?
And they will be. Guaranteed you that. Guaranteed you that.
Disassociate myself from any such belief, just as I totally disassociate myself from the belief of some of my fellow clergymen who preach that there is no room in Christianity for a black man except as a servant and a slave.
But Congressman, in all 20th century seriousness,
everything that Christianity taught to you about being while you're in that religion is a good servant unto the Lord. Come ye faithful servant. That's all they ever call you in there.
would it disturb you if the reverse took place, if a white group had such a school and they were teaching their children that Negroes were snakes and devils and should be destroyed?
Wait a minute, hold on. They went past teaching their children that into giving them guns. After their children graduated from the milk, from the breast, as soon as their ass was able to put on a damn diaper themselves, they was given weapons and taught how to hate niggas and go kill niggas. So, come on, that's a dumb question for him to ask. These policemen that's riding around here so hateful, hate women, hate black people, hate everybody. They start that shit from kids because they come from a whole line of white people like that. This stuff is so rooted deep, this hatred in the hearts of these people, because it's self-hatred. It's self-hatred, but they've been given something to do to, if you will, counterbalance it, or to have a codependency that goes along with it. In other words, you already got one problem, that's your melon recessiveness. So you create another problem that you can utilize to help you overlook your true problem. And what is that problem you create? Your hatred of someone else who has not the same melanin problem that you have, but seems to be chock full of the stuff that you are delinquent of. So we know what it's all about. It's about envy and jealousy and just some evil ass people, and you're evil because you have no melanin. And if you had more melanin, you would act more godly. And the only people that's out there that's white that doesn't act that way, and even though they have a melanin deficiency, they're able to act godly, is because they are not the white people out there that's foolishly involved with that Christianity stupid ass shit. Most white Christians are bigots because they believe in their white God. And when you see a white God in your white self, and then you have propaganda behind it that tells you it is ordained and ordered by your God for you to kill other people, then the other people would be fitting the description of the people that you were told to kill. They had a right to kill your ass for as soon as they find out you belong to an organization like that, because by belonging to an organization like that and making it perfectly clear to the world, that's how you feel the good Christians of this earth enslave the melanated people. And then you want to make us all be something disfranchised and on the outside of you. So you call us black while you call yourself white. You live on the best part of town while we live in the ghetto. Whites, colors, all that shit that you guys have put on the earth. It's the reason why the earth is killing you right now. So don't sit up and ask no question about what if white people had groups together and was teaching their children to hate black. And what's disgusting and made me want to vomit and puke more than anything is that this is not even a white man questioning him. This is a black man with habits of a white man, chain smoking his ass off. But this is what we have come to as a species of people, just chock full of ignorance and illiteracy, from the smoking to the dumbass questions, because of our influence with this group of people, the sector of people who wants to utilize us. And they utilize us by murdering us and keeping us dead, both spiritually and physically and financially.
Well, seriously, so wouldn't that disturb?
Oh, it disturbs me that he preaches that kind of doctrine of hate, because I don't know of any religion that has in it a principle of hatred. There are various degrees of love, but not any degrees of hate.
The man called brilliant at the beginning of that colloquy by Adam Powell, the man who preached a vesper service in Adam Powell's church, this man, Malcolm X, is, as we said, by his own admission, a former dope peddler and procurer, an ex-convict who served time in Michigan and Massachusetts prisons.
So what? So what? What is wrong with a person admitting that when he was younger in his life he made some mistakes or he did wrong? Look at America. America has made one mistake, one crime, and still doing it to this day, and has never once manned up to admit that she has made mistakes. Never want to take credit for any of the wrong that she's done. So if you're always going to try to point the finger at someone because of their past, at least give the person who admits that they had to learn a lot of things before they became great, at least give them credit enough to being able to say, I have become so confident with myself and my knowledge of who I am that I'm not ashamed to tell the world that I owe them all an apology for the horrible things that I said. Confession is good for the soul. So the fact that he can confess and let the world know that he can see the mistakes he made, and glad that he made them so he'll know what not to do, I feel the same way. You know, America need to hurry up, and all these white men who want to sit there and stand on their own self-righteousness and follow the damn leader and come out and admit that they have done some horrible things, starting with the damn murder of their own citizens in the 911 World Trade Center. They can start right there, and then they can start with telling the truth about how they deliberately destroyed all the family units in this country and how they deliberately created circumstances of poverty as well as mental interruption by teaching your children foolishness in their brainwashed school centers. All the stuff that they can start off with, like going back and telling the truth about how they really came to America with 4,000 ships instead of 4, and with the objective to murder all the native people here and steal the land from them and enslave the people that was already here. And yeah, you did bring some of us over here from Africa, but most of us was already here. We all know that. So what if he told the truth that when he was growing up under your state of oppression in your fucked up jungles that he picked up a bag of dope and sold it? I did too. Had no other choice sometimes when your brain is all fettered up and the only asset you got to feeding your children or getting your ass across town or doing anything is that you have to break one of the many crimes that you guys seem to have. Nothing but all the availability of muscle power to make every damn thing illegal, including panhandling or not having any money. Or just standing on the corner. You call that loitering. You got nerves, just nerves. That's why the universe is going to use the elements to kill y'all asses off of the planet. Because you guys has made it impossible for this planet to stay alive as long as you are.
He is now a changed man, he says, because Elijah Muhammad's personal brand of Islam taught him no longer to be ashamed to be a black man. So it becomes...
And that's my same claim, just so you can know. When I was growing up in Detroit, I felt